Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and today is day 84 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and focusing on doing at least two things every day I don't want to do, but I know would be good for me. So, yay for day 84. I realized I should have been done with these videos almost 2 months ago when I got to about 70 and I stopped, and I'm so sad, and I only have 16 days to go. Again, should have been done like weeks ago. Anyway, today I am not wanting to make videos. Um, I I didn't want to. I did, but I didn't. I'm having a whole lot of did and didn't want to do things today. So, didn't want to have to get up to go to work, which I never want to get up to go to work. But anyway, so today I was at work and one of my coworkers remembered that I had mentioned that my book was coming out this week. And I was like, no, it's out today. My book is out today. So my publisher let me know that she uploaded it to Amazon on Saturday. And I went and looked on Amazon, and sure enough, there it was. And I was like, yes, it's on Amazon. But it was just the e-version of it. So I was telling my coworkers this morning that the print version would be out in like 3 days. So like in order to buy like a paperback version of the book, it wouldn't be available for like 3 days. And so I figured 3 days from Saturday would be Tuesday. It's Monday. So I figured, maybe Wednesday to be on the safe side, right? So she mentioned it to someone else at work that I hadn't even been talking to about my book. And of course, there was like three of my coworkers that I was sitting next to that were all telling me I should send out a mass message to everybody that I work with. And there's like 27 to 30 people that I work with in my office. It's not like it's a ton of people, but it's still a bunch of people. I just sent out a mass message saying, hey, guess what? I did this thing. I wrote a book and now it's been published. So if anybody's interested, here you go. And I didn't say if anybody's interested, here you go. I just said, hey, I did this thing. So I was debating whether or not to do the email, and I was thinking I'll send it out tomorrow or I'll send it out another day. And it's been in the back of my head since I knew I was doing this. I thought as soon as my book is published, I'm going to share it with everybody at work. And then now that it's published and it comes time to share it with everybody at work, I'm like freaking out because I I don't seem to know what to do with the feedback, because I'm either expecting everybody to just be like boo in my face, or I'm like they're all going to be happy for me, and then they're going to have all these huge expectations that I already have of myself that I know are unrealistic, and then I'm just going to freak out. So one of my coworkers was doing that. She was like, oh, you can do this, and you can go to like First Phoenix First and whatever First Fridays or something, and you can like set up a booth and sell your book. And I was like, or you could do book signings, and you could do this and you could do that. And I was like, oh my gosh, stop. and, and then of course we keep getting interrupted by work, because we actually have to be working and not just having a conversation. So have to answer phones and help people coming in and out of work. So I don't get to finish the conversation with her. And at some point, I think I was able to explain to her that I was like, okay, in order to do it, something like that, I would have to have a license of some kind in order to sell something. And it might be something that's already there, so I don't have to pay for a separate license through the business or however that's set up. Or I might have to, I don't know. I might have to pay for a booth. I might have to pay for a spot in order to sell it. But I mean, I would have to get some form of permission or license in order to just sell my book in public somewhere. I can't just go out on the street and say, hey, you want to buy my book? I mean, I could, but without a proper license for that, that's like soliciting, and I don't have the rights to do that. So also, I could go to libraries. I could request to do a book signing at a library, but I would probably have to donate a couple of my books to the library for that. And then I would have to have books there. And I don't know if I'd be able to sell my books or just do book signings. And the same is true of like bookstores and other places like that. I would have to contact the bookstore. I would have to find out what their rules are, what their regulations are. I would have to find out what the fees are, if there are any. I would have to find out any licensing that I would have to get in order to do a book signing at their store. I would have to make sure either the bookstore would have to be willing to buy the books to sell, and I would have to be big enough for them to be willing to do that, or I would have to be willing to have books on hand to sell that they can either buy through the bookstore or that they can, buy from me at the bookstore or something to that effect. I don't know. And all of this would still have to go through my publisher, because in order for me to get any copies of books, I have to get them from my publisher first, and then I can take them to whatever promotional venue locations I want to do. So it's overwhelming, the amount of things to have to do. I was just like, and then having someone else coming up with all these suggestions, like it's very simple. And I was like, yes, it's a grand idea to just go to a bookstore and have a book signing. And if it was as simple as just going to the bookstore and saying, hey, buy like 50 copies of my books and announce to the world that I'm going to like sign the books and have all these people come in and buy my books, or all the people that are randomly coming in to look at books, they could just buy my books, or have me sign my books and buy my books. That would be fantastic. But I also am well aware of the fact that I'm a brand new author, that I would be bored to death just sitting in some place without having a line of people to like sign my name to, and having to do that. But I do feel like I feel grateful that my coworkers are encouraging and wanting me to participate and to do things to promote my book and to help me to promote my book. And I also think it's great my publisher is doing that. She actually even said that she put an extra blank page in the front of all of the books for so all of the paperback books will have an extra blank page. So there's a place for me as the author to sign, or to write some kind of dedication to whichever person purchases my books, which I think is really cool that she did that, because she says she sees a lot of authors try to find a place somewhere in the book cover or the front of the book or the back of the book or whatever to sign to sign the author's copies. So I was like, that's really cool. I like that. But I wouldn't know what to do with that. So I'm just kind of like, that's just so random. So, but I think it's because she has faith in me and in my book, and she thinks it's going to do really well and that people are going to want my signature. So she put that extra page in there just for me. And I'm sure she does that for her other authors as well, for the other books that she publishes. So it's not maybe just for me, but it feels special just for me. So, and then to have all of my coworkers thinking the same thing. In fact, one of my coworkers actually, I did get the courage because of all the encouragement and because I went back, there was in the back room and someone was actually looking up my book, which they're not supposed to do at work. They're not supposed to be Googling stuff like that, but they were Googling my book. So I told them the title so they could look it up. And then they're like, oh, that is so cool. But it said on there that it actually had the paperback book. So I was like, oh, the paperback version is actually available today. It's not going to be like tomorrow or Wednesday. It's available today. So I was like, okay. So no more excuses to not send out the email to everybody in the office. And of course, I sent an email out to everybody in the office. And I don't know that everybody responded back, but most of the responses back were, that's so cool. This is so cool. And then I was busy working. And then one of my coworkers were talking, they're like asking this question. I'm like, you're talking to me? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. They're like, check your messages, because I'd gotten responses back from my coworkers telling me congratulations. And then one of them was actually asking me about, if my book is okay for preteens. And I was like, I have no idea the answer to that. I'm like, to me, I think my book is for young adults, maybe teenagers. The whole series, I think, is probably geared more towards young adult or teenagers. Probably because I'm an adult and I was a young adult when I started coming up with these ideas for the book. And because I know where the story is going to go and I know some things that are going to happen in the story. So I think it's better maturity wise for like a teenager or an adult to be reading it. But then again, some of the stuff that my kids were reading as preteens and stuff like that, it's just sort of like, yeah, I don't know, because I know my books aren't as dark as some of the other books, or some of the books that I know kids have read. But I think it's really up to the parents' discretion as to what they think is appropriate for their kids or not. So I pretty much just sent an email message back to like everybody in the office. I'm like, this is kind of a brief description of my book. I mean, it's about an 11-year-old that is an orphan that, has these special powers, and she's basically shunned by the people in her village because of her special powers. And then she's given an opportunity to study and learn with all these teachers of powers and the opportunity to become a teachers of power. So to become something better than herself. And so it's the process of her realizing that she can have and deserve something, learning to trust these adults and these people, because she hasn't trusted people up to this point in her life. She hasn't had anyone to trust, really. And then learning that it's okay that she can possibly become something more and something better than just what she's always known in her life. And oddly enough, as I say things like this, I can see symbolism and parallelism in my own life, which I didn't even realize was there when I was writing the book, but I see it now that it's being published, or now that it has been published, that there's some parallelism in there with the whole, growing up and this is all I've ever known and feeling like this is all I'm worth and valued at, and then recognizing that I have the ability and value of far more than that. And that was the other amazing thing. My publisher the pricing, she sets the prices for the books, so I don't have any say in the prices for the books. But I was surprised at the prices. I thought it was a lot higher than I would have valued myself at or my work at. So I'm not saying that my book's not worth the price that she put it at. I'm sure that it is. It's just I wouldn't have known to put it at that price. I wouldn't have thought to put it at that price. So I was just humbled and grateful that she did that for me, that she sees that value in me and she sees that value in my work. And I was like, wow, this is great. And then, of course, like I said, one of my coworkers said that she's put it on her list of things to buy on Friday because that's when we get paid. And she can't wait to read my book. And I was like, I was so not expecting anybody at work to buy my book. As nice as that would be, I wasn't expecting them to buy it. I was just sharing the fact that I actually did it. So like if they're in, and I didn't put if you're interested, you could buy it. I just said it's available in these places. And then it's just kind of up in the air. If they want to buy it, fine. If they don't want to buy it, they don't have to. They don't even have to tell me if they're going to buy it or not. But it was nice that someone had the interest in it and asked about it being the preteen thing. And I was like, this is what it's about. So if you want it for your preteen, if you're okay with that, go ahead. And then I did send another message clarifying that the book technically is, I did look it up online. I did go back, took a break so I could look it up before I sent the message out. But I was like, yes, it is marked as teenager for teens and young adults, coming of age or something like that. For the genre is what it is. So it's a fantasy fiction, and then it's like teens, young adult, coming of age story is basically how it's listed. So it's not listed for preteens. I'm not saying that that doesn't mean preteens can't read it and that it wouldn't be good for preteens, but I'm just saying it's not in that genre. It's not listed in that age range for the book. So I guess reading level wise, it's probably not meant for preteens. So I just kind of said it's up to parental discretion. Like, I'm just going to leave it up to your parental discretion. Like, you could just read the books. To me, I'm like, I think it's an easy read. I didn't use a whole lot of hard words, big words. It's from the viewpoint of an 11-year-old. So that's preteen is 11 years old. 11 and 12, I think, is preteen. I think some people might say 10, but anything below that is definitely just kids. Definitely just kids. But I think 11 and 12 would probably be preteen, and it is an 11-year-old's point of view. I do have other books that are, from a 9-year-old's point of view, but I still think it's for teens and young adults because of the events that take place in that. So unless it's like a traumatized kid, and then you really don't want them reading traumatized things. So I still think it's for an older, just as far as maturity level goes and understanding of the deeper meaning of the story and things like that behind it. But again, I have no control over who buys the book or who chooses to read the book or what age they choose to share those kinds of things with their children. So anyway, that was just kind of one of those things. I'm like, I don't know how to answer these questions. Why are people asking me these questions? This is what I get for putting myself out there. But it's a good thing because then I can answer the questions. I can see that there's questions out there. And then, of course, at the end of the day, people were talking about like putting it on TikTok and book talk. And I'm totally lost on all of that. I do not know technology. I called my friend in Texas. I was telling her about that. And she's like, yeah, all that social media stuff. She's like, yes, you're like old school. You're outdated. You don't know how any of this stuff works. And you're refusing to use it. And I was like, yep, that's pretty much me. So I don't necessarily feel like old. I just feel like out of the loop is what I do. It's like, I'm like, I don't feel like I'm old, but I just feel out of the loop because I just don't get all of this stuff. I don't get it. And I kind of looked into it. I did download the TikTok app onto my phone because everybody at work's like, you should do that. And then I'm looking at it going, okay, but I don't have an actual copy of my book yet. It literally just came out. Like, I can't even buy the book copy until like today. And even then, I have to go through my publisher in order to get the author discount, which I'm definitely getting the author discount from my publisher. So I would have to contact her. And I have to wait until I get paid so I have money so I can order it and then find out, determine how many books I'm going to purchase, find out what the actual price is for me as an author, because I don't know what that price is going to be as of yet. And then I can request those books to be sent to me. And then once I have a book, then I can maybe do like a a book talk or something. But I was like, I already have a YouTube channel that I'm struggling to keep up and maintain, and to do a TikTok channel on top of that, to do like a short 30-second video every day or something like that, to be like, hey, check out me, check out my book, check out this, check out that. I'm like, I don't know. And like I said, I don't have a lot of videos, I don't have a lot of content, and I don't have a lot of like short content, and I don't have any followers on TikTok. So it'd be brand new trying to get people's attention. And I realized that that's a huge medium and media to, in order to get people interested in my book. And I realized that that is the audience, that is the age range. Like a lot of the people on TikTok are going to be the teenagers and the young adults. So that is the age range for the book um, that I just published. So that is my audience for my book. So I need to be on the platform of my audience. I'm just not really sure how to connect with the platform of my audience. I mean, I connect just fine with them at work and talking to my coworkers that are that age. It's not an issue there. I've hung out with people that think I'm the same age as they are and they're that age. And I was like, I'm like old enough to be your mother. So it's not that. It's just I don't really know what to say in the videos or how short the videos are. I'm just not familiar with the platform as far as TikTok goes. So I may have to start learning TikTok, which is something I don't really want to do. I may have to ask my older sister because I know she was going to do TikTok videos for a while. So I'm going to have to ask her and be like, hey, any suggestions on how to do TikTok? Because I don't know what I'm doing. Um, so I might have to, but I know you can use the same videos for YouTube that you can for TikTok and other things. So I might be able to like use some of the similar videos. I just don't know that I can make my really long videos on TikTok that I make on YouTube. So I can't do my rambling, crazy videos. It would have to be short, concise, and probably a little bit more planned out. Not very good at that either. So being on TikTok requires a lot more work. Um, I just have to remember that I'm worth it and that it is a way to reach my target audience as far as my book goes. But I will probably still wait until I have like a tangible copy of my book that I can show people or read an excerpt from or something, because I think that would be better than just going on TikTok. But I guess I can go on TikTok and create an account and just see what other authors are doing on TikTok so that I would have a better idea as to what to do. Um, More things I just really don't want to do. Just not remotely interested, which is my ADHD problem, because if I'm not remotely interested in doing it, even if I know it's a good thing for me to do, it's like every wall and barrier just jumps up for me to not do it. So that is something I will have to overcome. And at the very least, I at least listened to what other people had to say, and I at least downloaded the app and I did a little bit of research on it. And I was going to post something on my Twitter account. And since I got my new phone, because I got a new phone and I cannot figure out where Twitter went, and then I realized, I looked it up, I'm like, what happened to Twitter? Because I can't find it, and apparently Twitter is now X, and I don't even know if that's still a platform that you can post on. And I had like all of maybe 5 followers, and I think they all left. So I don't think I had any left because I just was really terrible at posting on Twitter. And I mostly just posted links to my YouTube videos on Twitter. I didn't do anything else with it because I just don't get it. And so I don't know what they're changing on Twitter. I don't know why it's now X, and I don't know what it's doing. And so I chose not to download that app onto my phone, and I chose not to post anything because I don't know what to do with that. So I was like, okay, bye bye Twitter. Twitter gone. Um, just gone. So I think I sent a thing to my publisher that I have a Twitter account, but now it's X, which I don't think she knew that was going to happen, and I didn't either. So that's probably going to be in my book. So if you get my book and you see a link or something, or you go to Electric Scroll, which is where also where my publishers, Electric Scroll is the name of the publishing company. So there is a website for the Electric Scroll. That is where my book will be. My publisher will have it there, an e-version of it that can be purchased, or the paperback version, or it's on Amazon, or it's through the e-version and the paperback, or it's on Smashword, which apparently does a whole bunch of other stuff that they upload through. So it has like Barnes and Noble and Walmart and a whole bunch of other ones that she gave me a whole long list of, and I didn't write it down. So I don't know where it's at. And I've been trying to copy and paste things on this phone to put into stuff, and I cannot figure out how to do it. So I'm going to have to look at some kind of settings or directions or something, because just holding down the phone and have it copy something is not working. And so that's just really annoying to me because it's not highlighting anything, it's not doing that. So I'm like, I don't know how to copy things. So I don't know how to copy all of the stuff that she sent me. So I don't know how to put it on here without typing all of it up, but I'm not going to type the whole thing. Again, it's too much, too lazy, too stressed, but I'm at least making videos. Yay, making videos. So grateful to be making videos and doing the things that I don't want to do, but I know it'd be good for me because it makes me feel good. So like I said, shared at work. Didn't really want to, but grateful that I did because I got lots of ideas and also got lots of congratulations. And so hopefully maybe a few of my coworkers will buy my book. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But they do, at least are acknowledging that it's a huge accomplishment and it does take a lot of work to write a book. And so I'm like, yay, I'm very grateful for my coworkers for that. And just very grateful to say I accomplished something. So like something I've been talking about for years and I finally did it. So yay. Granted, I have a whole lot of other books that I need to write and will probably continue to talk about for years to come. But at least I know I can publish a book or I can have a book published. So, because I didn't actually publish it. I got a publisher to do it for me, which I was not expecting either. So I think God has just made all of this fall into place and made all of this possible. And I am just extremely grateful for that. And like I said, I am making videos, which I did not want to do. I am learning how to use my new phone, which I do not like doing. And I did download TikTok and look into that because that's obviously a platform I may need to learn how to use in order to reach my target audience for my book. And future books because that is still going to be my target audience. Although I think I will have just an adult for a different series. It would just be an adult genre. I don't think it would be young adult or teenagers. So completely different genre, but I haven't written that book yet. So anyway, that is what I have for today. If you like these videos, you can hit like, subscribe, share with someone else if you think they'll like it too. And I hope these videos are turning out okay because they're on a completely different phone. So I hope you can hear them well and I hope you can see them well and hope they're coming out okay. And if you like them, you can hit like, subscribe, share with someone else if you think they'll like it too. And I hope you have a great day full of gratitude and maybe find one or two things to do today that you don't want to do, but you know it'd be good for you.